What is going on, guys? Chris here. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be covering the FaZe Banks, FaZe Clan, Tfue lawsuit ordeal. So basically, if you guys haven't caught up, yesterday it got reported that Tfue, he's a player under FaZe Clan, very popular Fortnite streamer. I would say maybe most popular right now. I think I don't know if I'd necessarily say he's the most popular. I'm not sure. I know sometimes he pulls bigger Twitch numbers, but I don't know if that specifically indicates he's the most popular. Because, you know, you got Ninja, Myth, there's a bunch of other people in the scene. But he is for sure easy one of the top creators. And he got picked up by FaZe Clan. I think it was last year around April or something like that. And it just came out that he has an issue with his contract, in which case he is filing a lawsuit. Keemstar, it seems to have broken the story, or the Hollywood Reporter broke the story, and in it details that the claim is that FaZe is taking about 80% of acquired revenue. There's a Twitch clip that was also posted about Tfue talking about how he doesn't agree with organizations taking prize money and how ridiculous it is. And then we get to the actual lawsuit. The lawsuit was actually posted. So obviously Banks is the owner of FaZe Clan, good friend of Tfue's, got pretty emotional on Twitter, got pretty emotional in an interview, got pretty emotional in a YouTube video, and there's been some people instantly were throwing FaZe under the bus, and now it kind of seems like the public opinion has gone away from throwing FaZe under the bus, and now they're kind of throwing Tfue under the bus. And this is generally what you see with public opinion is they choose a side, and then, you know, here we are. And then they switch back, and some don't switch back, and, you know, everyone just condemns everybody. But I mean, this is usually why I wait a day to talk about anything like this, is because we haven't even heard an actual response from Tfue. I think the only thing that we've gotten is from Keemstar that says, you know, is this lawsuit legit? And then Keemstar says, yeah. Or no, sorry. And then Tfue sends him like an okay sign. That's where we're at. So the lawsuit seems to be legitimate, and you can tell, this might seem like common sense, but it might not be to everybody. It seems like the lawsuit obviously was written by a lawyer. And when I say that, what that means is not everything you're going to see in the lawsuit is necessarily 100% how Tfue feels on a personal level. And I'll explain that by saying, in the lawsuit, it alleges that the contract that he signed with FaZe, he signed it before he blew up, before he started making what Banks, you know, alleges is millions of dollars a month. This is way back when he was pulling 100 viewers, again, according to Banks. And when Keemstar did the interview with Banks, which I'll leave in the description down below if you guys want to go check that out, the interview that they had. Banks also made a video, I'll also link that down below. Is, you know, FaZe picked him up, and he's still signed to his original contract before he got much larger. So from an organization's point of view, being picked up by FaZe skyrocketed Tfue's viewership, his ability to grab endorsements, his brand deal opportunities. So in the original contract, I'm fairly confident that Banks said, you know, we could, as of the original contract, take YouTube revenue, a portion of it, take, you know, some from Twitch, and they haven't. And then FaZe itself as a whole released a statement saying, so far, overall, they've taken $60,000. And the $60,000 comes from an 80-20% deal, which is FaZe acquiring 20% of all brand deals that FaZe specifically brings to Tfue. So if FaZe has, we'll just use an easy one, a G Fuel contract, and, you know, brings a deal to Tfue where it's like, hey, we want you, you know, you can be signed by G Fuel. You can make, we'll do easy numbers, $10,000 a month in G Fuel just by having it in your bio, and maybe doing 2 streams a month that mention something about G Fuel, and then there'll be more to the contract. And since Tfue did not go and seek out that brand deal on his own, FaZe as an organization would acquire $2,000 a month of his $10,000, because FaZe is the one that brought the deal to Tfue. So when people are talking about why FaZe would acquire anything in that sort of deal, they don't acquire, as far as I'm aware. I obviously don't have their contract. Usually contracts are signed with NDAs, which are non-disclosure agreements, so you don't usually release the details of the entire contract. They've released a lot more than I expected they would, but you kind of have to at this point, so that way you're just not completely thrown under the bus. But that's how it works. So FaZe would be collecting $2,000 a month. Tfue would be collecting $8,000, because with the assumption FaZe brought that deal to Tfue. So one of the reasons that it seems, according to the lawsuit, and it's in my opinion why he's so upset, we don't have details, I don't think, but he was offered, or an opportunity came up for him to sign with a very lucrative or a very good brand deal that he was either very excited about, or it was going to be very good for his career, or very good for him money-wise, or all the above. And it conflicted with assumed contracts that FaZe already has with other companies. So to give you another example, what that would look like would be Bang Energy or Monster Energy or Red Bull come up to Tfue and they're like, we want to give you $100,000 a month. So obviously that's way better of a deal. And let's not even say Tfue ever signed that G Fuel contract. Let's just forget that even happened. But let's just say FaZe as a whole has a G Fuel contract for the next year. Tfue, considering he is signed under FaZe, would not be able to sign with Monster Energy, because in a contract like that, oftentimes your people that you play for in terms of an organization, if you're a member of FaZe Clan and FaZe Clan has a deal or a partnership with G Fuel, you obviously are not allowed to go promote other supplement energy drink companies, because that would be a conflict of interest with G Fuel, who supports FaZe. So these are all very standard things that you will see in every single contract. So Tfue has obviously at some point expressed concerns about the contract he's usually on. FaZe wants to do everything they can in their power to keep him. Banks mentions that in the interview. So the part that gets very tricky is Tfue is bringing up a lawsuit. He hasn't made a single statement yet. Keemstar brought up a good point that he doesn't think that Tfue knew or assumed this would just be completely public. A lot of times I'm assuming when a lawsuit gets filed, maybe he had the expectation that it would stay quiet. He's just not really happy with his contract, so here, we'll just go the legal route, we'll do this. And then when lawyers jump in, they're going to look for anything they can get to make this as complicated, and I don't think annoying is a very good word, but I'm going to use the word annoying for FaZe Clan. I would assume with the hopes that FaZe is just going to be like, we don't want to deal with this, fine, you're released, and then Tfue is free to go sign and do whatever he wants as a single individual creator. Where this gets personal for Banks, and which is why he was so emotional, which I completely agree with, because he had a few interactions with Nadeshot where he was very upset about what Nadeshot said. Nadeshot apologized, they moved on, Banks deleted the tweet. He got emotional in the interview, but and people are knocking him for that, saying he needs to be more professional, and I don't agree at all. The issue that you get into is we're comparing this to real sports, and I'm not saying esports isn't a sport, but I'm saying we're comparing this to business ran organizations who have PR people and they don't want to say the wrong things and it's all politically correct. That's not what I want to see from an organization. These are real people with real friends, with real feelings. I don't understand where we've gotten to this point to where like we feel like people are not allowed to express their feelings on an issue, especially when, well, like, what do people want? They just want lawyers to write statements and just have banks read it verbatim just directly from a sheet of paper. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that in esports. You know, like I like a level of professionalism to where, like, you know, Banks isn't throwing people that work for him under the bus, which he never did. But like, I wouldn't want it to get to that point, but I have no problem with him expressing his opinions on, you know, Tfue and his actions and his decisions as a friend, as a partner, you know, as a player, all the above. So anybody who's giving him hate over that, I don't think you would realistically enjoy the alternative. Obviously, I hope we never see the alternative where it's just lawyers and you know, like, statements written by PR people. Like, no, man, just, if you have an opinion, air it out. You know, don't throw people under the bus. You know, don't throw, like, certain FaZe members under the bus. If, you know, if he came out and he was like, yo, this member of FaZe messed up the contract. Like, no, like, to handle that on your own, which he seems to be doing. So, you know, I would expect a certain level of professionalism, but when you're comparing it to just him airing out his feelings about the situation in general, I completely don't agree with it. But either way, what we get back into is in the lawsuit, it alleges underage drinking, you know, gambling, being pressured into a house, into all this stuff. This doesn't seem to me, in my opinion, like something Tfue would put in a lawsuit. This seems like, you know, like an advisor, somebody close to him, plus a lawyer being like, you know, what'll sound really good will be if we also mention in the lawsuit that Tfue was forced or coerced. Can you go? It's green. Thanks. Why are you flipping me off? You've been sitting at a green light for 15 seconds. I'm doing you a favor. Anyway. Oh, by the way, in a previous vlog where I was driving while doing a vlog, somebody was like, hey, yeah, you did this while driving. Isn't that dangerous? I'm not streaming. Like, I don't have to read stuff. I'm just talking while driving. I could talk to a friend while driving. You know, that's pretty safe. So, nah, don't worry. And I was even aware enough to point this person out, and then I got flipped off. Thanks. Anyway, so that doesn't seem to me like something Tfue would actually put in the lawsuit. That seems like something a lawyer would bring up as leverage. And I think this spiraled from what Tfue would consider maybe just a leverage play with lawyers. Like, hey, you know, this isn't working out for me. I just lost out on a very, very good deal. And people are throwing Tfue under the bus because money, like, oh, money shouldn't. But I mean, you know, if he got offered a deal he was excited about, like, let's say, like, it was Monster or it was Red Bull, and it's like, you know, like, Ninja and Nadeshot have been sponsored by Red Bull. Like, this is like a huge step for my career. Don't knock him for trying to do what's in his best interest. We haven't heard a statement from Tfue yet. So, you know, before anybody fully condemns any party, like, just please wait until all the info's out. That's at least what I try to do. And then once all the info's out, if he's like, yeah, I did, then I can air my full opinion on why he would do that, if he should do that. But I mean, don't throw Tfue under the bus for possibly just, you know, trying to leverage a legal situation, you know, to better him as an individual. I am 100% on board with loyalty to a brand, especially a brand that built you up. You know, and like I said, I don't think, in my opinion, that Tfue possibly internalized everything to expect this to spiral into this giant mess. So I think that's why maybe he's waiting. I would hope maybe he handles this with Banks privately. I don't think everything needs to be public at this point. I think he's probably trying right now to go about the best way, figure out what the best way of going about this is. A lot of these people are young in terms of understanding contracts, understanding lawyers, understanding, you know, public perception. That's not saying like they're naive and they don't understand it. I'm just saying I don't think a lot of these people have really been involved with signing contracts and having lawyers and agents in the understanding that you need lawyers and agents before you sign these types of contracts. And if you don't want one, at least educating yourself But I mean, if FaZe comes to you and you're sitting there with 100 subscribers, you're getting really good at Fortnite in FaZe, like FaZe Clan, one of the top organizations in esports, offers you something, of course you're going to jump at it. You know, and then as you get bigger, you have more leverage to be able to be like, hey, I should have a bit more of this. Now, where I should have a bit more money or a bit more leeway or a bit, either way. So in the lawsuit, it says, or even in the report, it continually mentions like illegal contract, which I don't really understand. I obviously don't have the contract. The lawyers probably do, but I don't really understand what in a contract that like that would be illegal. You know, it might not be great for Tfue anymore because now he's big enough to maybe, you know, make brand deals on his own, which is like I said, why I'm personally assuming this has accelerated to the point it has so quickly. But I think what Tfue, and I think what people in fans and supporters of Tfue what need to realize and need to be careful about, especially when bringing up a lawsuit like this, is I would be glad that Banks is as emotional about it as he is and cares about Tfue as much as he does, because legally, no opinions in there. If legally FaZe have rights to Tfue's YouTube, Twitch, and other portions of money, and they just claim that they have not taken it, Tfue could have to pay that to them. If he hasn't paid them more than $60,000, which is just in the agreement for brand deals that FaZe specifically brings to Tfue, and technically they have it in the contract that they are allowed to take certain portions of his social media earnings or tournament winnings. All I know about is I think when they mentioned in the interview is just the social medias, but Banks just told Tfue that they're not going to do that. And then, you know, when they released their official statement, they said they haven't taken it. They could technically sue for all of the money they have not gotten from Tfue. And I think that's what people need to really think about. That's where it would get very complicated. But either way, guys, what I'm going to be doing, leave a like on this video and leave a comment down below. I'm going to be picking one person each video for... Oh, I just got home from work and my wife just got home too. Cool. I think what I'm going to be doing is grabbing somebody from the comments, giving you a shout out next video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Twitter.com/ChrisTDickson. She's wondering what I'm doing, like I'm talking to myself. And she thinks I'm pointing... I'm talking on a video. I'm pointing to my phone. But yeah, I'll give somebody a shout out each video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'll also do a shout out from somebody on Twitter. Take a page out of David Dolbrick's, book. If you retweet the video, I'll do another shout out as well. I'm going to be covering a bit more esports, general YouTube stories happening in the scene, giving my thoughts on it. If you guys have any comments, questions, leave it in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you specifically liked this video, let me know. Make sure you leave a like and make sure you leave a comment. I will start doing more of these videos. And as always, I'll see you guys next video. Okay, bye.